Hi guys, hi and welcome to this live review of The Boys. I was going to say trailer for some reason. But yeah, it's no longer the trailer, it's the full freaking season 1 and it's maybe the most famous and probably the best Amazon show. Yeah. So I'm getting this out of the way right now that this is amazing show. It really actually is. It's a pretty huge surprise that I personally did not expect. So, guys, I want for you to, to be able to get together real quick and we can discuss this great show. It's very surprising. That is great, but it is pretty damn great. So it is Friday. Lastly, what I did was, of course, the Hubs and Shaw review, and this is a pretty freaking great movie for me. I heard that The Rock made, a message to fans, so to speak, a video message, how Universal called him. It was a great success, and yeah, I'm very happy about that. Some people does not appear to be getting it, and they think that they're supposed to be like Fast and Furious, literally with the cars and the guys saying hey brother, of course. That is not the case. So that I'm just going through this because it's just Friday, guys, and a lot of things that I saw today. I even saw some other shows while I was resting after work, so I have so many things in my head that I want to talk about, and at the same time, it's Friday, and I want to chill with you and talk really great shows, actually. But this is, mostly, of course, for the boys because they do deserve their own freaking discussion and review. And this TV show really, really surprised me. And hi to Irko! Irko! Hi to you. I'm very happy that you're here. So I hope you guys you have a great and amazing Friday. It's pretty late where I am as usual, but uh, in America the day just began, so to speak. So you have a great Friday there, guys. And now for The Boys. So The Boys is this very brutal show. If you don't know anything about it, it's based on a comic book that was originally a part of DC Comics, but it kind of split from them, and the creators of it decided to go to another publisher because their characters and the whole premise of everything was like too brutal for DC, so to speak. It was really a separate thing, and it is really a separate thing. Believe me, it has nothing to do with anything that we ever seen till this moment. And before I go into the story real quick and tell you why it's so good, and a lot of people are reviewing it right now and telling everybody that it's good, and I'm sorry, this is live. I'm sorry about that. So why everybody are buzzing about it, that's what I want to tell you as well, why I think that is very good, because I usually don't like too much of a brutality and blood and gore and horror or anything like that, or too much of a sexual content, if for some reason it has no meaning and it's just for the shock value. I just hate that. In this show, you can't really say that it's about the shock value. I mean, there is this element of it, because they just want to show how shocking the situations are, and those characters and how they are as people. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, which I usually do. So, first, guys, there are two camps here. One is, of course, the camp of the Seven, which are the Justice League right there. I mean, it's kind of a bad version of a Justice League, a parody of it, if you will. And the other side of the coin are the boys, which are led by Carl Urban there. They are just figuratively named the boys. It's just literally a street name, created to describe that they're just a group of guys that are doing things that are not exactly, conventional or legal or authorized by the police per se. So that is just, a way of saying, oh yeah, those are the boys or the guys or whichever. It's just how they're called. So as far as I understood, because I did, manage to learn about the comic book, the original comic book, this is close to it, and it's not as close to it because the comic book has some elements and storylines that it is are not exactly the same, but they do follow a lot of the key points of the characters, and they do follow their nature. I mean, what they are in the comic books are pretty much what they are on the screen. They do follow this very close, I think, as far as I understood. The comic book is more graphic than the show, and that is totally understandable. In the comic book, they're just drawn pictures. You can draw whatever you like, but it's entirely different thing to see this in live action. So it's understandably that they made it a bit less graphic, but it's still one of the most graphic shows I ever seen in my life. And I seen Spartacus, yeah, and of course Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is nothing compared to freaking Spartacus. Spartacus is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. In terms of graphical content, that is. Of course, I'm pretty sure there are horror shows and other things that are more graphic, maybe, but what I saw in Spartacus, one particular scene that I mentioned a lot of times, literally scarred my mind for life, but it's just almost embedded in there. It's like a picture, not a particular scene. It is terrible. But anyways, speaking about Spartacus, because Spartacus is made by some of the people that made Xena. That's just blasphemy for me. But anyways, um, Carl Urban, guys. Carl Urban, a lot of you know him from a lot of other things like Judge Dredd, and he was in Star Trek, and yeah, he was in some other movies, shows. But his original role that everybody else knows him from in Xena fans and Hercules fans is, of course, the role of Caesar, Julius Caesar when he was young. That was amazing role. He also played Cupid in Xena and Hercules, and I think two other roles in Xena. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people play different stuff a few times in those shows, but I mean that I am a fan of Carl Urban since, yeah, years ago. A lot, I mean, a longer time than anybody else had any slightest idea who he was. And now he's a freaking badass in this show. Freaking. I mean, if you think that he was good in Judge Dredd as acting performance, he was even better in The Boys. It's just superb. And he has this amazing Irish accent that he just nails. He just nails. I don't know how he says all of that quick, but it flies like a poem. I don't understand half of the things that he's saying, but it's so like it's colorful. He speaks like in colors. I don't know how to describe it. Really, it's hard. I mean, it's magical what he can do. And hi to Milkshake. He was in Riddick. I remember that. Yeah, of course I remember that. Well, I look like an anime elf. I haven't heard that before, actually. I heard a lot of other things. I mean, different characters. But yeah, maybe now I do at the moment. But hi to you, Impaler. That's a very long name. So I don't want to lose my thought here. Of course, I'm going to, watch the comments, reply to the comments, but I just want to get the review out first before we can discuss further the show. So, guys, okay. First, when I saw the trailers, I really thought that this is like an evil version of the Justice League, and that's gonna be it. But no, this story is very, very deep. I don't want to spoil the exact origin of the Seven. They're not like, I mean, they don't have the origin story of the Justice League. They don't have even the closest origin story. They don't have anything like that. They're very different. I mean, their origin stories is different. They are different, and their powers are not exactly the same and don't work in the exact same way. Like in the Justice League. I don't want to spoil anything again, so I'm just going to say that they are like copies of the Justice League in terms of some things, but they are definitely not copy and paste, version of the Justice League, but just an evil version of it. It's not like that. It's even actually deeper. So I really thought that this is going to be a very bland, at first, story of how superheroes could be bad and how they're really good pretending. I mean, they're really bad pretending to be good, but again, it's a lot more than this. So I really love how they did it, because the story, in the way that it's thought out, it's actually compelling, and it's actually very, very original. I was really impressed by it, and I was really also impressed by how the story started. I'm very glad that it's only 8 episodes. Gosh, I'm very glad it's only 8 episodes. I really want to see more, but I'm glad that it is because they managed to tell what they wanted to tell in those 8 episodes, and they were not too long or too short. Everything in them was, on its place, so to speak. So it was not like it was boring or too fast or anything like that. Everything was perfectly paced. And I didn't need to have like 24 episodes of this in that sense, but I do need to see the continuation because it's really freaking interesting. And in times where there's so many shows that you want to get to, it's really not a good thing to spend too much time on only one show. So I'm just happy with all of those new formats of now, seasons of shows, to be only 8, 10, 13 episodes, because they can really deliver more quality, even well, special effects, even, cinematography, a lot of other things are just better done. So yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, it's it's my makeup, okay. Okay, milkshake. Again, it's getting short, but who has the time? Really. And again, this gives them the ability to make better episodes. Not all of the shows in the world though. Game of Thrones. But I mean the last season. But at least what they're trying to do with some of the newer shows right now. Um, uh, do I root for all the heroes are villains? Well, I don't know if you watched it, first of all, because things are not really black and white. I'm gonna tell you that. Oh yeah, in that line of thought, milkshake, you brought up The Witcher, which is a very, very um, you know, anticipated show. I hope it has success, because I really want something like that in that genre to see, and I'm really a big fan of the games and a fan of Henry Cavill, and I really love how he looks in the show. He looks amazing. Let's go back to The Boys, because I have so many shows in my mind right now that I want to talk about anyways. But The Boys, guys, really stood out. It really did. Because the dynamic between the boys and how they're going to even deal with the seven when they don't have superpowers, also also interesting. There's a corporate um, company, corporate structure of things. Again, I'm trying to like skip somehow, like a lizard on water, and not to, really spoil anything, to dive in too much into some of the elements, because uh, it's really, again, original. I want for you guys that you, if you haven't seen the show, to experience it for yourself. uh, but what I can say is that, first, the first few minutes of the show starts really shocking, and this is something that, if you've seen the trailer, you will see it as well, and it's happening right away. And then after this, you're watching the consequences of this super shocking thing happening. And then within the next few minutes, you're introduced to basically the world, the heroes, some people that have superpowers, what they do, what they like, and you're introduced to basically the corporate element of it. And so you're like, what the hell am I watching? But in the same time, you're like, okay, I see how this actually makes sense. So, from one hand, because, again, when I first saw the trailers, when I have not yet, you know, when I did not, uh, started to learn about the original comic books, I did not research the comic books before seeing the show, because I didn't want to spoil anything for me, and I'm glad that I didn't. So, at first, from the trailers only, just looked like uh, they're just going to make a parody of superheroes. They're just going to, tarnish them, or, make fun of them. But it's not actually like that, because this is so separate way of so different universe, that it could exist on its own and still have real, let's say, real superheroes that live in a different world, not in that world of the boys. Uh, so yeah, again, trying to just do this and not really dive in. But I'm gonna get to the special effects. So special effects, amazing. I mean, the gruesome special effects, pretty amazing. The flying, the punching, everything looked amazingly, amazingly real. Really, the line between superhero shows or shows and movies are now really started to get blurred. I mean, uh, well, not all shows, but at least the boys, how they did what they did. When they can do something, let's say when they clearly do not have the budget to do it, they just do something alternative that it looks very, very cool. And you still feel like, yeah, I mean, I can totally get the idea of that or this particular character, their powers, what they can do, without actually having a longer scene of them doing something. So of course they didn't manage to show, to show them doing stuff all the time and for a longer period of time. But they what they did show. Sorry, it's very late. What they did show, they showed it amazingly. So yeah, it's great. It's really great. I'm really happy that I can see, how TV shows develop to that point, because it's really amazing. I mean, when you compare to how the flying is shown here with something like Supergirl, Supergirl is a lot worse. I mean, again, they did do some advancements there as well compared to before, but nothing like here. Here is just what it's you can say what it's supposed to be like. Now, if you compare it to something like Man of Steel or just any other movie like that, I say Man of Steel because that is when we first saw Superman really, show his power on screen like they should be shown. It's nothing like that. I mean, how his flight was shown, how the gravity around him, the ground shivers and cracks when he lifts off. That's just amazing. How he reaches supersonic speeds and everything else. How he shoots in the sky like a huge plane. um, not like that, but still impactful and realistic enough, or at least it's shown in the way that you do buy it. You do buy it. I'm gonna get to the comments real quick, and again, I'm gonna continue to other aspects of the show, like the storytelling, the acting, and yeah. Hi, Willem. The first season of Jessica Jones, Erin. I know that. I know that actress, Moriarty, I think. Hi, Ivy. Oh, she's so great. Yes, I totally forgot when I saw her. I mean, when I saw her in Jessica Jones. I'm not sure what she played actually. She was the victim or something like that. Yeah, I think she was a victim. I think somebody killed her. Not sure. Hmm. Something happened to her, but it's not sure what exactly. But anyways, I really like her, by the way, as an actress, and as Starlight, her character was pretty interesting, I think. She was very genuine. That's the word. So getting to the acting, her performance was really great. And Elizabeth Shue, I haven't seen her for years. I think that she was in a more recent movie with Bruce Willis. But she's an amazing actress. I don't know why she's not getting more work. What she did here, you can see the caliber of an actress that she is. It's mind blowing. Yeah. Mm, yeah, exactly. Never seen Breaking Bad, by the way. I know, but I never seen it yet. I can't watch everything. I just watch shows that are more up to my speed, which means that because I don't have a lot of time, I'm trying to watch shows that I'm really interested in. I'm not interested in what Breaking Bad was about. I don't want to say the word because YouTube is going to demonetize me for such words. So, yeah. So, so guys, like I said, acting Elizabeth Shue, and uh, I'm just so sleepy. Aaron, amazing. Carl Urban, the best work that he's ever freaking done. Really the best. Really the best. It's no doubt about that. Never seen him act the way that he acts. And there's a little promo that he did with some kids. It was like almost like a trailer, but not exactly. Something like Deadpool has, with just little skits here and there that are like a minute or two tops. And the same thing with Carol Urban and some kids. You really have to see it. It's hilarious, and you can see how superb his acting is. It's like he's actually this character. So I do, I don't know if there's something like of an acting trend or some kind of way to film stuff, but I noticed that in the latest shows that I'm seeing, without not all the shows, but I did notice that here they're trying something new. It's like they're trying to, act in the way that it's almost, it just totally forget about, the real actors that played this. It's so, they're so genuine. So the acting is so good. You just get lost in it. You immerse yourself in it. So I'm very, very impressed. I'm very impressed. Now to continue real quick with all the characters and the the supers here, they were really impressive and really gruesome in their own way. There's an Aquaman version that's called The Deep. He was really, really gruesome, you can say. There's something so sleazy and about him. And then he does something that's really, really bad at the beginning of the show. Then in the comic books, that thing really happens, but it's just not his character that does it. But anyways, later on in the show, you see something that's similar to that done to him, but it was kind of ridiculous and really gruesome, and I was like, I'm not sure if this scene has to be here, you know. That's one of those things that I felt like, okay, I get it, and he kind of deserves it, but I just don't get it. I just don't. I didn't understand why he didn't get out of this situation. You will see what I'm talking about. So I was like, why he's putting up with this? There's some weird things about him. There's another thing weird that I really didn't get about his character, but if you leave that aside, there was other weird things in the show uh, that I kind of thought that either I'm not getting them or they're not really explained well, or they were trying to make a point but they could not make a point really. It was seemed like they were, but they actually weren't. It was just not well done. So I'm not really sure about that yet. And then how the show ended with a cliffhanger, it was super interesting. So now I'm very happy that they're making a second season, and we are going to see what is going on there. But another another person that I really want to talk to you about is Jack Quaid, that is the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. He's right behind me there. He's an amazing actor. He's like really amazing actor. He really looks like his mother. Like, wow, he looks so much like her. It's like what? But in this show is Jack Wade, and Stranger Things is the daughter of Uma Thurman, and she's amazing. So those two, kids of famous actors are going to probably become famous actors themselves because they're legit talented guys. Absolutely amazing. And she looks so much like Uma Thurman. Again, it's like wow. It's really made a big impression on me. So to recap real quick, compared to Netflix's shows, this has you could say a very different vibe to it. Very different, but in a good way. This is something very fresh as how it feels, how it plays, how it looks. Very fresh. It looks like it has bigger budget. It looks like even if it does not have a bigger budget, they made you feel like it has. And just so fresh. It feels so good. So I binged the show for one Saturday, 8 hours exactly. Um, it was really that addictive to want to see the next episode and the next episode to see what happens. And every episode is not on its own, it does follow the previous one. Uh, and yeah, I was going to say something about the sexual stuff in it. It's not that much. It's pretty out there, but again, something that I pointed out before is that if there's too much of a graphic content in a show or a movie, be that sexual or be that just blood and gore, it should make some kind of a sense from a story standpoint. It should not be only for shock value. It should be, you know, not. I'm just thinking about Spartacus again. It should not be totally meaningless like in Spartacus. I mean, Spartacus is obviously a lot of battles, but they did show so many things that do not need to be shown the way that there were, and the camera panned out to that particular moment uh, for so long. It was so unnecessary. So that is what I'm saying, that there's a big difference between showing blood and gore for the sake of it or showing blood and gore or sexual anything when it actually makes sense, and showing that thing for as long as it needs to be shown to make a point, and not as long as so you can be grossed out and just want to look away or anything like that to make you feel extremely uncomfortable in any way. It's not the case here. So yeah, it's gruesome. It's not really censored anything. Yeah, full frontal male nudity as well. But it's again, it's not it's not that big of a deal, really. It's not. Although there was one scene, it's very shocking and disturbing. But again, it's very hard to talk about that. It did show what some things can do, you can say. So yeah, uh, so this show really makes you think about what superhero powers also can do to the human body if they are not used properly or they're used intentionally for bad things. And you can really see how in a world where this to have superhero powers is possible, what can actually happen if it gets into the wrong hands. But it's not in that classical American way. It's just, again, it's very original. It's original how they did it. I think I really never seen anything like that. I mean, I know like about the alternative of the Justice League, for instance, like the Uberman or the Owlman or whatever was it. Um, I'm just, I'm just remembering some things from the animation right now. But it's nothing like that at all, at all. Here is so grim and dark, and it's a totally different take. Totally, totally. So definitely recommend The Boys. Definitely. It's just nothing as, nothing that you ever seen before, and we do need fresh shows like that and fresh look on things. And it does not, you know, it does not spit on original superheroes and does not spoil them in any kind of a way because it really makes a point to be its own thing. So you can have Superman and love Superman and to not have the image of him or what he could be just ruined because what they are just totally different. Just has nothing to do with real superheroes. In that sense. I just want to make the point of that. And yeah, Caravan was in the Lord of the Rings as well. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now we'll see about that. I'm not sure about that because Caravan is filming The Boys, so Judge Dredd, you mean? TV show? The Lore of Dread. Jack Quaid from the Hunger Games? I don't remember him. There. Let me check. Oh. He also is in Star Trek. Star Trek Lower Decks. And that's show. No. I don't see him. Oh gosh, I see him. That is his first movie. Wow, I totally forgot that the Hunger Games, the first movie is so old now. It's 2012. Gosh, I expected to see him to see the movie like yeah, a lot sooner when I scrolled, but no. So the Hunger Games and Catching Fire as well. What? Like, who was he? Who was he there? I don't remember him at all. Let's see if I can get a picture of his character. Oh. Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see him. Yeah, he did change since then. Yeah, he was alongside one of my favorite actors from Vikings, Alexander Woodwick. Yeah, I know who he is, but I don't remember him. He was not like a major. I remember Alexander though, but who can forget about him? He's so great. Yeah. Yeah, it does not result in cheapness. Exactly what I meant. The most devastating movie you've ever seen was Gory? Which movie? Well, Ivy, again, this is a must see show. So, yeah. I wouldn't say dark humor. It's more like dreadful humor. I mean, it's more like it's ridiculous. It's brutal. It's just more, a lot more than dark humor. It's just very, very. Yeah. It's unapologetic. It's unapologetic. That's the word. Um, they are doing con as far as I know, but I'm not sure when that's going to see the light of day. But I heard that Arnold was filming that. I wasn't. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. It's like in the new DC animations that, me and Kirill were talking about, our reviewed Batman Hush, that they're putting all of those adult jokes and, curses and even some gore stuff, and they're trying to show like dead faces and other stuff like that, and to just hold the camera there. That's exactly what I don't like. That's exactly what they should not do. We don't need this. We don't. I mean, in a scene where, let's say, Katana fights a bad guy and she cuts him, of course there's going to be blood, but we don't need to see him 10 minutes how the sword gets through his chest, for instance, and how exactly the blade cuts into his chest and how deep exactly, and how much blood starts to drip and to spill and to fly all directions for like 10 minutes. We don't need to see that. We just need to know that's realistic, that, I mean, that of course there's going to be some blood, but we don't need to see, 5 gallons of it, or something like that. The over exaggeration of things, it does not present a better scene. It does not, represent what is happening better. It has to be done with taste, with measure. Everything that's overdone, you can see that. So yeah, that's my point. But yeah, guys, that is basically just about it about the boys. If I have to give it some kind of a rating, I would say that the show is definitely 9 out of 10. It's not exactly my number one genre, but then again, it's not in any genre, I don't think. It's not a superhero show like um, superhero shows that we have. It's nothing like that. It's not like a crime drama. It's not like a drama. It's not like action hero something. It's not cheesy. It's not any of this. It's serious, and it's bloody brutal. Yeah, exactly. Pretentious and juvenile. You always find the perfect words. Exactly what I want to say. If I was not that tired. Yeah. So one of the best things to come out this year, I would definitely call it that, and something that even Netflix could learn from, because it's such a high quality. It's unbelievable. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Oh, I have to tell you about this. Okay, so I think I already told Ivy that. I'm not sure, but I was watching. I mean, as I was watching the show. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm really sleepy. So something very interesting happened. I I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about a lot of things. As I was watching the show, first few episodes, I was watching the guy, Anthony Starr, that plays Homelander. Let me just bring his face, if I can bring his face up. Um, if I can just find a picture that's like a, close up. Or at least, close enough so you can see my point and what I'm about to tell you. It's very funny, I think. The show is getting popular and they're not exactly having a lot of pictures here of the actors, but it's going to be enough for you to see what I want to tell you. Okay, so let me see if that is it. Yeah. Okay, so here is Anthony Starr as Homelander. He's supposed to be the evil, not exactly equivalent of Superman, and blonde as well. So I was watching the show and I was like, this guy looks similar to me. He just looks similar. I mean, something in his face. Sometimes when he does different faces, he looks older. Sometimes when he does a particular face like this, like literally like this, he looks so familiar. I mean, really, really familiar. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm very good with faces. I'm very good. I don't remember names that much. Uh, it's just that I'm an art person. It's how my brain works. I remember a lot of things visually. So, uh, I'm very good at guessing which actor played where. Like if I haven't seen him for years, even if he did changed or got older. But this time the case was different because I was pretty sure that if I ever seen this guy, it was not now. It was like years ago. Years ago. I don't know where, when, and how or what. But I never see him. I was sure that I never see him around this age range that he is now. So I just had this familiar feeling, and I just had this kind of recognition of some of his features that were like so like nail something like try to drew a nail in my head, but I just couldn't figure it out. It was so it was so like it's like on the top of my mind, or I can't figure it out. And the next morning, I mean, because I watched the show, I watched the show on Saturday, and the next morning when I already watched the whole show, Sunday morning, I'm getting up, I'm brushing my hair, and just like doing this, and I'm like, I'm like this because my mind literally, guys, like in the movies, my mind just brought up his image, the way he looked before, and the way that I actually see him for real and how I remembered him. So it literally brought up this image, like literally like on a computer. That's how I saw it in my mind. It was amazing. I just couldn't believe it actually. And I was like, I'm running in the in the living room being like, I know who he is. So anyways, I was so excited because I mean I had similar stuff happening to me before, like figuring things out like out of the blue, but not exactly like this. So who he is, I'm gonna bring his picture on the screen now. So this guy, this guy, I'm gonna tell you who this guy is. So if you have seen my favorite show of all time, Xena Warrior Princess. Yeah, I did mention that Karl Urban, of course, is from Xena. That he played Julius Caesar, that he played Cupid and other roles. This guy was only in one episode, and I haven't seen this episode maybe like 3 years. I mean, I watched all the Xena episodes at least 5 times, some 10, 50 times. It depends on the episode. This particular episode is, I think, from the first season. It's David against Goliath or something like that. I have to check exactly the name, but it was about, mm, the big, strong giant against the smaller guy, and he was like 21 here. He was very young. So I managed to, my brain, managed to bring this image, almost the same actually, and to recognize him from this to this, and now he's 44 or something like that, and he's blonde with short hair. Oh god, he looks like Conan, like young Conan here, like it's totally different look, like completely different. He was a lot skinnier. He was just a young boy, like 20 years old, and he looked even younger than 20. I mean, his figure was just like a teenage figure still. So yeah, I was like amazed. I tried to, actually on Saturday, I tried to, look in IMDb when I first, started to doubt that there is something here. But I scrolled like maybe half of his film history, like till 2000s maybe, and I didn't see him. And I just, well, I was like, okay, so this time maybe he just looks like somebody else because he was not in anything that I've ever seen. But I just didn't finish scrolling down. I just didn't believe that, he could be in anything. So it's just 2000, 10 years, like what it could be. Like if I seen him before that, I barely remember that. But, I watched Xena a lot later than this. I mean, I started watching it after 2002, when I was a kid. So, yeah. Uh, I mean, that doesn't really matter, but what matters is that when he filmed that, it was 1995 when he filmed that, the beginning of Xena, and I never see him as an adult, never. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly, Abby. But anyway, guys, so we have two actors from Xena. Sometimes we have more, just can't, recognize them all, or just forgot, or it was like super side one that I don't know. But a lot of times, as they're watching a show, there's something from Xena there. Yeah, but his jawline was a lot better, of course, when he was young, because now he doesn't really, how to say this, his face starts to lose this, the perfect shape, especially if he's not working that part. You can actually work out your jaw. Yeah, that's what I mean. So to not lose that chisel look. So he started to they did pick him because now he looks really good, of course, for his age, but nothing like Superman. His face is kind of skinny. He does not have the fullness of his face how Superman should, which actually he could have if he gains the weight and he works out, because his comic book character, I mean Outlander in the comic books, looks huge, and they just made him this huge costume that he cannot fill out, which of course I'm like, what? Like, he has to have the thick neck, he has to have the real muscularity to play this role, because there are some scenes that you can definitely see. I just found a very good picture here that you can definitely see that he is so skinny under there. It's just ridiculous. You see his neck just being like, okay, just a neck, and the this part of the costume is just so loose around his neck because he does not have a neck. It's thin. It's very freaking important to train that part, train it. Those guys, those actors, they really don't want to train. They just don't. I don't know why, but that's just padding, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, when I watched first, Lord of the Rings, I was like, oh, this guy's from Xena, this guy's from Xena, this guy's from Xena. But of course, Lord of the Rings is very close to Xena. I mean, Xena ended 2001. First Lord of the Rings is like 2000 and what, two? Oh, I forgot. I just don't like how time flies. 2002. Yeah, I guessed it. I don't know how. Devon, you're here. Exactly, Devon. You know that they should, because if they don't even feel the physicality of the character. It's totally different when you actually build the physique, how you feel. You feel like you can walk through a wall even if you can't, but feel amazing. You feel like so strong and thick. You can like hit your muscles. It's how I feel, even though I don't look now in the camera that I built a lot of muscle, but actually I did. The majority of me is muscle now. Antonio, hi to you. Need Gore, hello. Oh, guys, why do you come when I'm finished with the review? Well, that's what is bad when I do, reviews streaming because they're live, and I already said everything that I needed to say. But yeah, The Boys is great. That's what I. But you do want to go back and see my points on the show. Really important. But yeah, guys, tomorrow is Saturday, but I actually have a lot of things to do. I have to go to bed earlier, so this was awesome stream. I wish that you have an amazing weekend, and I really want to get back to reviewing other shows. I did watch the first episode of The Wu Assassin with Catherine Winnick. Oh, she's so amazing. And actually the first episode of My Life is Murder with Lucy Lawless, that is Xena Warrior Princess, her new Australian show. That's actually pretty interesting. uh, well, Devon, he might have, because not because he's lacking muscle, but they have to do some kind of a padding on the costume, because when you actually put a fabric on the body directly, it does not show as well, no matter how muscular you are. I mean, it's going to show, but it's not going to show in the way that it will look like in the comic books. The costume must have some Under Armour type of a padding. When you look at Henry Cavill's costume under the fabric, he does have something like an armor almost. It is just necessary. No matter how he looks like, it's just necessary so the costume may actually look like his body if he wears it. But if he literally wears it directly only with the fabric on, it will not have the same, absolutely the same, not the same effect as if he's wearing with the padding. So the padding should be minimal, but just to help, bring up the shapes and the muscle separations. It's very important. Also, when you film something on camera, that's also the other case, that it has to be a bit exaggerated so it could look better on camera. Not like Shazam's costume though, that was too exaggerated. Not even like his costume, because his chest looks so freaking artificial, it's ridiculous. You will see in the show, especially when he's on like broad daylight, when he lifts his arms, his chest look just like two half of something, and it is not made well. It's not made the same well as Henry Cavill's costume, or even Shazam's costume. It's worse. I understand it's a TV show, but it's really worse. You can tell that it's fake as that. I can't say that word, but yeah, you get my point. But for the camera, it's important. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Abby. Uh, I look tiny, though I'm pretty muscular. I mean, you can just see my Instagram, here the light is too bright, so you can't see my muscle definition, but I did develop a lot of muscle everywhere. I mean, triangular back, everything. I train bodybuilding. It's just bodybuilding that is totally natural, so I won't look like a super dry man like woman. I'm gonna look like Wonder Woman type of athletic. Actually built more muscle than the freaking Wonder Woman. By the way, like literally did. Well, you can see it now. Actually, if you watch me for longer, even the neck, you will totally know what kind of a progress I've made. But yeah, it's really too bright here, but yeah. The triangular back and everything is here. I can even flex my chest. Again, too bright, but I can. Just watch my Instagram. You will see when I get the lighting, you can see pretty much everything. Even the traps, you know. Yeah. So, to be muscular actually does not mean to be like huge, big. That's what happens when you take hormones. I can't say the words again because YouTube is going to demonetize the stream. But yeah, I mean, when you're natural, you just create the muscle, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna get really big in size. You're going to develop the muscle. You're gonna lose the fat eventually, if you know how, of course. And then you're going to just look lean and defined, but you're not going to look like too big. If to look big, that's gonna take more years and a bit more years. But no one that's natural actually looks too big. They just look aesthetic. That's basically the truth about natural bodybuilding. It's kind of a bummer from that sense, but at least you know it's a real muscle. But yeah, it takes time to create living tissue, guys. It takes time, especially for women, because I don't actually have enough testosterone. Now, the estrogen actually also helps building muscle, but that's very, very long topic about both men and women's, physiques and how it works in both sexes, advantages, and all the stuff like that. But yeah, it's important to know your body and to first to know the human body, how it works, why the body creates muscle in the first place, to know your nutrition, to know your body, how your body reacts to training, what training, how to train, eating, when to eat, why to eat. I also have a lot of streams about health and fitness. I also specialize in that, so if you want to see that, you can just see my recent video on my previous binge eating problem that I had for a very brief time, but I got over it, why I had it, how to get over it, and all of that. So if you want, you can always, of course, check that. And again, if you check my Instagram, it's a lot of things are there as well. Antonio, yeah, he follows me, he knows. Pythons. Well, Devin, just look at Superman Returns. Although that guy worked out, I mean, I really like, I don't know why, I totally forgot his name right now. Gosh. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, who I'm talking about. But yeah, he's gonna play Superman again in the CW universe. But yeah, I mean, you can see that costume that it does not look well when you don't actually see the muscle definition. You just see a blue flying thing with pants. That's what I mean, that you need the padding for this kind of a thing. Thanks. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. Yeah. I don't really watch a lot of anime, but yeah, I get it. Devin, no, I won't. That's a very complicated question, Devin, because bodybuilding is a very long process. It's not a race, it's a marathon, as I always say. And if you want to see where your body can go, you can't ever stop. I mean, you always have to work out. So you can't be satisfied with your current physique ever, because there's always a next level. Although, of course, naturally, you are reaching a certain point and you just stop because the body cannot, is not, made to create infinite amount of muscle. If it was, the bodybuilders that were natural will just keep building on muscle and muscle, but because they're just reach certain point, and they're in a hurry, they take, what they take, and they get huge within a few months, not years. They get like totally huge, and it exceeds the human, threshold and a natural capabilities of the body. But in terms of my physique, because it's, again, bodybuilding, first I'm training everything, a lot of, I mean, like, for instance, different muscle groups develop in different time. So let's say the butt, it's a very big muscle groups, like the biggest actually, I think. And the legs, that takes, more time to build. um, then the arms, for instance, the arms are developing very good. Now I can flex my traps like so, you know they are very easy to develop for me. Shoulders also, chest is pretty, it's, wow, yeah, that's hard. Even I'm surprised sometimes. I mean, all of that, it just develops in its own way. Different, it takes a lot of time, different time for each muscle group. Although I do work out everything, I always work out full body. Yeah, the point is that you can never be like super satisfied. You always could develop more. Like right now, I'm losing fat. So when I get a bit more lean, I'm just gonna be able to see more of the muscle definition easily. I want to get to a certain weight, and when I do that, I'm just going to continue to try to maintain and build muscle little by little. And that's not going to be anything super out of this world, freakish, because again, it's natural. So it's only, I mean, my body's only going to develop to the most aesthetic, shape possible, and then just going to stop there. I just have to continue and continue, but it's only going to be sustained when I reach eventually that point. I still have, potential to build more muscle and to create, better shapes for my muscles. Yeah, you can see that, for instance. I'm kind of tired because I worked out before, before the stream, so my muscles are tired from flexing. Um, yeah, but you can see at least how this is. Yeah. Anyways, again, bad lighting. Just go and see Instagram. See actually my muscle definition. Um, well, thank you very much for that compliment. Actually, that's another topic about Gal Gadot, but she really lost muscle mass mm, in Justice League, Batman v Superman as well. You can see her arms, how they are shaped. They do not sit like this in the movie. They're just a lot more soft. You don't see the definition, the separations of the bicep, and all of that. You don't see that, which means that she did not work out. Actually, she only kind of did something, so to not jiggle around, but she did not do enough to actually develop the muscle, which, of course, being a superhero fan since I was a little girl, of course I'm like, what are you doing? You should be in top shape for this. You should have the best muscle definition possible. And this is not acceptable for me. You should have the perfect shape when you play a freaking goddamn Wonder Woman that is freaking Amazon warrior, and all that she did all of her life was physical activity, fighting, training, and all of the Amazons on the island were more muscular than her. They really were. They really were. Even um, that actress, I always forget her name. Ah, yeah, Robin, right. And she's older. She's much older than Gal Gadot, but she was more muscular than Gal Gadot. Yeah, I don't like when this happens. I do like how Henry Cavill got more muscular now than when he played Superman. That's very funny. But now he actually accepted the fitness lifestyle finally, because previously he was like, I'm not gonna work out between this movie and that movie. The role does not require it. Like literally, when he was not Superman after Man of Steel, he filmed, some different movies, and he did lost muscle. You can see that he did a lot. There was no longer this chiseled shape. That everything was soft. His chest were like, you know, and I don't like that. I think that people should take care of their bodies, no matter if they're actors and you only have to get ripped for this or that role. You just always stay this way, for goodness sake. This is your body. You have to take care of it. You know how The Rock is. I mean, The Rock obviously is jacked and on a lot of things to sustain and be that muscular and lean at the same time. But at least he is consistent with it, and all of his life he never stopped working out, like John Cena as well. And Henry Cavill finally, in his last interview for The Witcher, he did say that he does have now, a trainer all the time, and they do work between movies, so he can get bulked up, so he can gain a bit of muscle, and then if he has, he can lean down, but little by little he builds more and more muscle. That's a good plan. I mean, it's not like actually the perfect way to make muscle mass. You can do it a bit cleaner, but they're always in a hurry, so I understand. No matter that, I mean, the important thing for me and what I appreciate is the fact that he's actually working out, doing something to, better his physique. Well, it's thick fabric, yeah, brown and round, but you see the difference. It's not the same. Yeah, thanks, Antonio. What inspired me to get strong? Well, just the fact that I started working out since I was a kid, but then I wasn't really serious. I was like few months very, very serious, then I wasn't, then I was serious again, and you see how you start to build something really great, and then you just fall off the wagon. You start doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. You start eating foods that you're not supposed to be eating. You get addicted to things, and that's really not good. So from trial and error, I started to learn from my experiences, and to learn from my character, and to try to develop a better understanding of my body, how it works, what to do, what not to do. Then I started to get really driven and just learning about the whole um, physiology of the body, and then of course to try different diets and workout plans on myself to see what worked, what did not work for me. Of course, in that time I was getting busier, growing up, so I had to adjust all of that. And again, I stopped, I gained weight, I had to lose the weight. And after the last time I gained weight, which was like now like 2 years ago, I was like, no more. I just can't be, keep doing that. It's ridiculous. It's not good for me, for for my body. It's not paying respects to my body in any way. And I have very good proportions. I'm an artist, and I've actually studied those things in school. The proportions of the male body, female body, how it's supposed to be, and in the perfect ratios. And for the female body, it's like 90, 92, let's say. around 60 here on the waist, and again 90, that's centimeters by the way, on the hips. So I do have those perfect ratios, but when you gain weight, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have the ratio, okay, but you're gaining weight, so you know. So it was a shame not to try to develop this, and so I tried to learn more, to test more. Again, I made some mistakes along the way, but that taught me how to, you know, to do things better, more optimal. So in time, I learned how to do everything and not be, you know, to not be like a burden on me to watch what I eat, count my calories, started to do intermittent fasting, and I'm doing the fasting almost 20 hours a day. That means that I eat only in a 4 hour window, sometimes five, depends on the day. But I try to keep it between 4 and 5. So minimal of 19 hours of fasting, you know, in a 24-hour day, and that has been most beneficial for me to gain muscle and to lose fat. But you have to learn a lot about fasting and why it's so different from just simple calorie restriction. It's a very long topic, and you can just watch my other videos, especially my last one, which I explain everything about my background and this, and again, how I overcame my bench eating problem. I'm going to do a lot of other fitness related videos in the future anyways, so if you want to see that, of course I'm going to do it, because I did help some people for free, absolutely for free, just from my advices. Because when I try to, you know, give back to people, to show my knowledge, so to speak, to share with all of you guys, I'm trying to make it so I can teach you, so you can be like completely independent of me as a trainer or a dietitian or whatever. I'm not saying that I'm a dietitian, but I know a lot about nutrition and again the human body and all of that, so I can help you individually. You know, for you, for your body and schedule, to lose weight. So a lot of people on Instagram, they write to me, and of course I reply when I can. But all the information is out there in my videos. So again, I do things in such a way, I give all the information that I know, so everybody can take this and apply it to the best of their ability to their lives, of course, if they want. So they can, you know, be independent of me and not be like, oh, I mean, in the beginning, of course, there's like a learning curve. I can help, but the point is that, you know, a lot of other fitness personalities, let's say, they try to make people dependent on them so they can go back and pay them and pay them and pay them. My idea is just to help people. So if you can, if I can teach you how to be your own trainer and your own everything, eventually that's going to be most beneficial for you. You can better your health, and you can, you know, help other people to better their health. And intermittent fasting is absolutely free. It's just you just don't eat. Drink water, something that's without any calories, like black coffee as well, or herb tea, and that's it. It's free, but it's the most you know, pure way to lose weight and to be healthy and to gain all the benefits from fasting. Actually, what it does to the human body, it's really, it's the real cleanse, is the real thing that, you know, cleanses your body. You don't need to drink thousands upon thousands figuratively juices to clean your body. You just don't eat anything. That's the best cleanup ever. Again, I don't have time for this, guys. I just wanted to say to the new people that never watched me before what I'm about in terms of the fitness and health stuff. But again, I really encourage you to just watch my stream. That's very recent. It's from like a week ago. If you want to just find out more. But again, on the question what inspired me, my dad also worked out a lot when he was young. He was a big fan of Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he got pretty big naturally. He never actually made a statue of himself exactly, but he did have a pretty strong and big physique, relatively lean, and his colleagues as well. They were like training partners. So since then, I have like a ideal of how a human body should look like, basically when it's developed to its full potential. So I do think that everybody has to work in that direction, because it not only has the aesthetic benefits, but it also keeps you young and strong all the time, and also um, really strengthening. It has this very strong effect, so to speak, on your bones. So in the long run, you can literally protect yourself from all kinds of bone diseases as well. I mean, even effects on immunity, quality of sleep, and there's really a lot of benefits. I can't list them all right now, but a lot of people just think of training as something aesthetic, something that you know snobby guys do in the fitness, but it's not like that at all. I'm normal height. I'm 164 centimeters tall, which is 5 5 5'4". I'm not sure. Let me check. Mm, 100 centimeters. I have to type it in English, I guess. Okay, so that's 5 feet 4.57 inches. Yeah, 5 feet 4.57 inches. That's normal height according to statistics. It's not too short or too, too, yeah, too tall. Well, thank you very much, Impaler. Hi to Sean Baretti. Thank you, Antonio. Have a great night. Wow, yeah. Well, I can tell you that if you work out, you can't even catch a cold sometimes. Really. Like, literally. I mean, the immunity gets so high that you can't even catch a cold. It's really great. I am not kidding. It's even if you eventually you get some kind of a virus from somewhere, even if your recovery time is going to be twice, if not 3 times as fast as a person who does not work out. Really, I'm not kidding. Like, a lot of my friends that cannot even go to on the stairs, they're just like out of breath on the fifth fifth one. And here I am running with my cousin, not my cousin, sorry, my nephew, that's in second grade. So he's second grade kid, and I'm able to run with him as fast as him, and even, not only as fast, but I managed to run longer to pass him, and he was super exhausted. I mean, I could run literally, faster than him, and I gained all of the distance that he made. That was actually in not the forest, but we went to see a cave here in Bulgaria. It was amazing, by the way. That's also here on the channel. It's called the Eyes of God, this cave. So yeah, so we are running on the grass in the wild nature, which is not easy to run. There's also rocks and other stuff. And yeah, without even getting out of breath, we out of breath, um, we ran for like almost, you can say, above 300 meters. Yeah, a long distance, because we wanted to look for another cave after the next hill. So we ran to there, from the other cave to the to the hill. We didn't find any other cave there, but the point is that I'm able to do that and still not lose my breath in any kind of a way, and keep up with him, not only but even surpass him. And he is almost tall as me, being second grade. Kids now are really big these days. So yeah, I mean, you can really improve every aspect of your cardio, your strength, everything with yeah, with working out, because I am trying to actually work out everything, not only work out for strength, not only work out for aesthetics, but also the cardio levels. I even work out with gymnastic rings, so because that really strengthens your ligaments, and it creates time under tension on the muscle, which again, from that point of view as well, it creates hypertrophy in the muscle, so it does grow from that too. Also bodyweight exercises. So all around, I'm trying to be a well-rounded, you know, athlete, so to speak. Okay, that's it. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Impaler. Some good advices there, Ivy. Good evening to Non-Legacy. Guys, I'm very happy that you joined my stream. It was supposed to be like 30 minutes of review. It turned out to be 1 hour and 20 something minutes. But I really have to go to bed, guys. So again, thank you very much for all the questions. Maybe I'm going to do a stream especially for all of your questions. Actually, that's a very good idea. I haven't done a Q&A for a very long time. So whatever questions you may have, of course, not too personal, I can answer everything. Just you can leave them. Let me think. On my Facebook page. I have to create maybe a post about that. Okay, I'm going to create a post about that. Links to my Facebook page is going to be down there. So I hope that you all use Facebook. If you're not comfortable with Facebook, you can send me questions through Instagram as well, or Twitter. But Twitter is not comfortable for me. I don't really use that much of a Twitter. So if you can, Instagram or Facebook, on a personal message, I'm going to include all the questions and answer them in a live Q&A. So that's going to be very soon. I'm going to leave like some time for you guys to gather and to leave questions, but whatever questions you may have for about movies, TV shows, training, diet, even lifestyle, or even my country, if you will, or something about me, whatever it is. Again, if it's not too personal, I will reply to everything to the best of my ability. Thank you, Abby. Take care. Have a great Saturday and Sunday and summer. And I hope that you can leave your questions, because I really, really want to do a Q&A. I really enjoy all of those things, and to talk with you guys live and to interact with you. It's really great, actually, for me. I love it. I'm not just saying that, really. I do. So if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Even technology, I also have a lot of knowledge about some technology. So yeah, just think about stuff and ask me. Have a great night. Be safe as well. Thank you, my dearies, and sleep well. Good night. Thank you. Really, thank you very much for the support. Bye, guys.